Me again. Hey, just wanted to take you on a journey with me as I start marking up my charts for a new exchange that I joined. So recently, today, I signed up for the exchange Liqui, and what Liqui is, it's an exchange just like all the other exchanges, right? The other cryptocurrency exchanges where you can buy, sell, and trade altcoins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, so forth and so on. And I just signed up for it today, right? The reason I signed up for it today is because there's a lot of options for trading. There's quite a few coins on the exchange. If you look over here on the left-hand side, you can see there's quite a few coins that I'd like to be able to trade. And what I'm going to go do right now is I'm going to go through all of these coins and I'm going to start marking up charts, right? I'm going to start marking up and setting alerts for where I think the bases are and where the prices may end up dropping and where I may potentially want to buy these coins. Now, keep in mind, just because I actually mark the chart and I put an alert on the bases doesn't necessarily mean that I always buy. I don't also put a buy order every time I set an alert, right? I'm setting the alerts to basically establish bases on a particular chart with a particular coin. And if that coin falls below that price, right, the price of the base, and the base cracks, then I may get into that coin and buy it. But as those things develop, I kind of keep a close eye on them to make sure that I'm not just buying things whenever an alert goes off, because that's not the smartest approach. So anyway, I've already marked up a couple of these charts, and I'll just show you the last one that I marked up. This is Ant coin and USD Tether. And I marked up some bases here, in the past, probably a week or two ago, and then I marked some up today. The clearest base, most obvious base, right? It's right here. There's a huge price jump up from 2.2 all the way up to 2.88, right? So that's, gosh, 20% maybe. So that's clearly a base, right? Clearly a base where there's a big run up. There's another base up here, right? And that's a pretty clear base. It went from 269 to 315, another pretty clear base. And I marked a very small base right here. So let's keep going. If you want to chime out, that's fine, but I think this may be useful for you guys to learn how to actually start marking the bases. But I'm going to go through these charts and just start doing that. I may not go all the way through in this video. I don't want it to be too long. But you'll get the idea of kind of what I'm doing as I go through this. So let me actually first clear out all of these alerts right here. Let me just get a clean chart for you so that we can. I'm going to go ahead and pause this. Give me one sec, guys. All right, now I've cleared this chart out so I can start from scratch with you guys. And so the clearest base that I see on this chart, it's pretty obvious, right? It's right here. So I'm going to set that base right here, mark set, and obviously there's a base, huge run up, and there could be a base right here, right? That's also a base. So there's a base. Let's confirm that, and let's look at the chart a little bit closer. Let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit, right? So these are the two clearest bases I see on the chart, right? And then these are bases, but they're not quite as big. Let's see, 17 up to 20. Actually, that's not bad, right? So I'm going to go ahead and actually that's already marked as a base. So let's keep looking through this. And then we have a run up starting at 19, 20-ish, all the way up. Technically, those are small bases, but I am not going to mark them. Actually, I think I'm going to mark this one, right, from 20 all the way up to 23. That was a pretty strong base. And the way I'm thinking about this is that, whenever I mark a base, I'm trying to understand where are there buyers for this coin? Like, is there support to buy this coin to shoot it up, right, to raise the price? Is there support to do that? And anytime the price jumps up like this, that means to me there is support. And there's a lot of that happening with this particular coin, but I don't want to mark every single base, right? Because some of these are smaller than others. And you can see that there was a pretty strong run up and it's still running up, but then it starts to be tested kind of right up here at the top, right? It starts to be tested kind of right up in here because you can tell because the spikes aren't quite as big, right? The first spike happened, right about here, huge spike, and it went up, from 20, a little lower than 2050, all the way up to 2314. Then you look at the next one, it went from 22 to 24, so a little smaller. And then you look at the last one, and it went from 23-ish to almost 25, so about the same, but still a little smaller. And then you start to see that the support is waning and it's decreasing. Right here, right, there's 2.8, 2.28, and 2.4. So it is slowly, support is being lost here. So anyway, just want to explain that a little bit. Let's go over to the next chart. Wow, look at this one, BCAP. Not even sure what BCAP is, but man, it had a huge run up. Just literally starting a few days ago on my anniversary. The 26th was my anniversary, wedding anniversary. Anyway, I'm going to mark a base right there. Oops, let's close that out. Okay, so that's clearly a base. That is an obvious clear base, a very big one. It almost doubled in price, right? From 1 to 180. Almost doubled in price there. So this one, that's really the only base I'm going to mark right now because I don't know what this chart is going to do. Right now it's been pretty steady, and then all of a sudden this quick shoot up. But I am also going to monitor it pretty closely right here, right? Because if this starts jumping up again, this may become a base, but right now it's not. Okay, so let's look at Bitcoin Cash. Let's zoom out. This one I think most people are familiar with. The obvious base right here, which is very low. Don't see that happening right quite yet, but let's mark that as a base anyways. Zoom in. Here's another base right there. Really strong support at about 478. And that was probably because it dropped below 500, right? It hit 512. Let's zoom in a little bit so you guys can see this. It hit, see, there was a run up, right, from 360 all the way up to 521. And then you can see that there was a drop. So from 521 up here, and it dropped down to 478. And once that dropped below 500, there were a number of people that thought, oh, this is a great time to buy it. It dropped below 500. Again, another one of those psychological barriers, right? When when something hits 200, 300, 400, 500, there's typically a run up. When something goes down below one of those levels, 500, 400, 300, 200, any of the even 100 numbers, there will typically either be a run up again or a run down depending on the stock. In this case, there was clearly a run up because it's a bullish market. But anyway, let's keep marking bases here. So technically this is a base. Looks like it's already been hit. Let's kind of scroll over here. Okay, so now where's really the next buying opportunity for Bitcoin Cash? I would say definitely around 475-ish is a buying opportunity if it goes that low. I also think around, here's another base right here, which I kind of marked, but there was a pretty good run up from 564 all the way up to 739, which is really, really good. So that's actually a pretty good base. And it looks like it's already hit that, but I'm going to go ahead and mark it. Okay, so let's keep looking at this. And what is this run up here? Another little run up, 568. Yeah, that's really a base. So I didn't get in on this trade, but this would have been a very good opportunity to trade, right? You can see here are the bases that I would have called right here, right here. And then you can see when it cracked those bases, all of this is buying opportunity, right? So, okay. So now let's mark our base right there at the bottom. So I'm gonna make a little, because that's where it really bounced. So at around 525-ish, we'll mark a base. And I'm gonna actually delete these bases. I do this sometimes where I'll mark bases and then I'll kind of go back through and delete them because some of them don't make sense, like if they're above the price, right? Which we just kind of just discovered. I don't necessarily want to mark something above a base because that doesn't make sense. Okay, let's keep going through this. And let me know if this video is too long. If you guys want to do something different or have other interests than this, let me know. Meaning other interests around cryptocurrency, of course. I just wanted to go through this video because I thought it'd be helpful to show you in real time how I'm going through and marking my bases and how I'm actually, setting my charts up for success in the future. Take 20 minutes of your own time, go through these different coins, and mark your bases. And as you start marking them, it may take 20, 30 minutes the first time you do it, but as you start marking them and going to different exchanges and marking those, you're going to start seeing these alerts go off, and you're going to, day by day, it's going to kind of build up, and you're going to see these alerts go off, and you're going to be able to decide where you want to actually trade and put your money. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Wow, this chart is beautiful. I mean, it's up and down. It's BNT altcoin. Up and down, which is perfect. There's a big argument going on in this market, meaning that people can't agree on the price. People can't agree where the price should fall, and that's why you see so many of these run-ups and run-downs, right? There was a big run-up right here, but then people just can't agree on the price, and that's great for trading, right? When people can't agree on the price, people are buying way up here at the ceiling, and then people are buying, people are panicking and selling way down at the floor, and it makes a really good opportunity for buying. So there's some very clear bases in here, right? This one being probably, these two being kind of the clearest winners. And I am going to, it did drop a little bit below. I'm going to go ahead and mark that as a base. And here it again articulates the point of what we've been talking about the whole time. Look, this cracked the base, boom, went up. This cracked the base, boom, went up. So anyway, so I marked the base right here, 2.4, because there's definitely support there. There's definitely support at 245. And if you want, you can mark the stronger base down below, which I like to do in case there's a huge dip because of the news, or something like that. So I do mark it down lower pretty often. But other than that, I mean, it looks like there could be a base right here as well, right? There's a huge amount of support there. And so I am going to mark a base right there. 2.6. And we'll see where it goes. Right now it's at 317, right? If it dropped down to 2.6, I would love it. I would buy it, and I would, wait for the bounce back. All right, let's keep going. Technically this is a base too, so I'm going to mark this one. Because, where all these bases are, there's support in the market for buying these coins. Every time, support is tested, this coin, it bounces. So it indicates to me, there was a huge run up right here a couple days ago, went all the way up to 309, then it dropped. It could have dropped all the way back down, right? But there was support, and some people thought, no, I'm going to buy this. This is still a bargain, and they bought it, and it ran further up. Anyway, I think you get how that's going. All right, so here's Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is at 45.50. I'm going to mark some bases down in the 4,000 range because these are, here's a clear base, 4,285, right before the run up there. And then obviously there's bases down here. I'm not going to necessarily, well, I'll mark the one way down here, but that's an obvious one. And I don't anticipate Bitcoin going down that far anytime soon. All that could happen. So there's a base. Here is technically another base. I'm going to mark. Okay. And I think for this one I'm good. Let's see what's the price change? 4461. Yeah, I'm not going to mark a base here, even though it is decent. Actually, let's see. What's the percentage of that? Let's just see something real quick. So 4463 all the way up to 4563. And I'll jump over to here. This is a little spreadsheet that I put together just to kind of help myself in trading to understand what profits I'll be looking at, So I basically what I have here, let me just put, I'll do another video about that particular spreadsheet, but 4459 to 4459. Okay. 4459 is the buy price, and let's say the sell price was 4561, right? That's pretty good. 4561. That's two. Oh, I guess it's not that big. It's 2%. So I was wrong. I was thinking. Anyway, so I'm not going to mark a base there. All right, let's go. Let's keep going through this. Wow, this chart is interesting. And again, a lot of arguments going on. It's really high, it's really low, it's really high, it's really low, it's really high, it's a little higher, it's a little low. This is a good chart for trading. Now before I I start marking charts, I do usually go back a couple months just to kind of see where the chart's been and to understand what the story is about this chart. And if you kind of see here, there was a huge run up August. Wow, so it just recently ran up pretty good in the last couple weeks here. So I'm going to go ahead and, oh, let me cancel that out. I actually like to look at charts in 1 hour just because it gives you a little bit more detail about what's actually happening. So anyway, there's a clear base right here. I mean, it doesn't get any clearer than this, right? This is a huge base. And if the price dropped below that, that would be a good buying opportunity, obviously. But then again, there's another base right here, right? Another huge run up right there. And I'm just trying to teach you how to mark these bases because these are the key to making profits. Okay, so there's a base there. Let's kind of go a little bit more recent. There is a base at 18, right? Because it was tested right here in it. It did bounce back. So I'm going to make a little base right there. Set the alert. And then there's a base right here, right? There's a base here. There's a base here. It looks like this base, right? If somebody would have marked this base in the past, well, that's terrible. Right there. Then look at this. You know, it's bounced up. Somebody marked the base, and what happened? Boom, 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 boom. It comes all the way down, cracks the base, goes down to 2.2, goes all the way back to 2.5. So it went from 2.25 to 2.55, and it's not done yet. Let's see what that is. So 2.25, 0.225 to 0.25. We got 10%. Not bad, right? It's a pretty good bounce. Sorry about that. Pretty good bounce there. All right, so let me set alert there. I'm gonna mark my base. Perfect. All right, so the next time this coin goes below 225, you know, it may be a very good opportunity to buy. You know, if it went down to here, there could be a run up. So mark that one down. All right, let's see what's next. CVC. Okay. I don't know about this one. But anyway, okay, so I'm gonna stop right here. I think the video has been decently long. It's about 20 minutes. Actually, let me go through a few more. I'll go through a few more, and then we will stop it from there. So let me mark some bases. Okay, so this is CVC coin, and let's zoom out a little. Okay, again, there was a huge run up on the 9th, and it looks like there was a lot around that time. And then there was another run up, you know, 42 up to 60, big base. Let's mark that as a base. It's a strong one. And that's really probably the only base I'm going to mark, right? I probably wouldn't buy this unless it went below this level, and even maybe this level, right? Because you can see right here fairly, well, let me zoom out. You know, there was a test here of support, and there was huge support there. So I am going to mark that because that's really your true base right here. This is your strongest base. So if the price dips below, you know, 36, huge opportunity to buy. But I also do think there's an opportunity to buy, you know, if it even goes below 42. So I'll keep an eye on that one. All right, let's look at Dash. Dash has been performing really well in the last, you know, week or two. Last couple weeks, you can see it has had a huge run up. So clear bases right here, right here. Let's mark those two. Clear base right here. Let's mark another one up right, let's say right here. And you know, there's really some test against. So anytime you see these little dips, like on a run up, you'll see these little dips, right? You see these little guys right here. There's one right here, there's one right here, there's one right here, here. There's all these little little dips whenever something runs up, right? And that's because people are testing whether or not there's support there. The market's testing whether or not there's support. They're not people, I'm sorry. But anytime, so you see a huge run up right here, goes up all the way up to 325, and it goes down because people are thinking, oh, this is great. I've made tons of money. I'm going to sell my profits. They start selling. Price drops. It gets down to a certain level, and people are like, wait, this is still a great opportunity. They buy it again, shoots right back up. And that happens on a small scale as well, right? I mean, you could see, let me just zoom in on this quite a bit so you can see what I'm talking about. So you can see, the run was going up, going up, going up. There was a little bit of, a little bit of resistance right here from let's say 315, and it goes down to 305. And people didn't, think that it should go below 300. There was still a lot of support to buy at this price because it was a good price in people's minds. So they bought it, right? And the market kept testing, is this where it's going to stop? Is this where it's going to stop? And it didn't stop until it got, all the way up to the top, gosh, above 400. And now it's dropping back down a little bit, right? But you can clearly see that the bases are down here. So the last base I'm going to do is right here, because that's the last point where it really tested support, and it got support, right? So that means there's a bucket of buyers willing to pay anything above 300, 307, right? And so I would imagine if it cracks 300 here, and I'm going to say 305, but if it cracks 300 and goes below 300, there's going to be an opportunity to buy, right? Because it's already gone up to 400. So if it cracks 300, definitely I'm going to be buying that coin. Okay, so the next one, wow, this one looks a little bit wild. Oh, wow, this chart is beautiful. I love it. A lot of ups and downs. Lots of ups and downs. So again, what does this signify? This signifies that there's a great argument going on with this particular coin. It's Dixio DAO coin, or Digix DAO. I've never actually seen this coin, but there's a big argument going on in this coin. A lot of people can't decide on what the price of this coin should actually be, which is great for us, right? It means big swings up, big swings down, where you can buy low and sell high, just like they say. But in this case, it's actually true. You can see it. You can read the chart, and you can see all this detail, like right here. I mean, this opportunity is incredible. It can't get any clearer than this, right? There's some very, very clear bases. I mean, here's a base, 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 here's a base. I think it's going to be a base. So let's start marking, right? I mean, where should we mark? I like to mark at the lowest point. And before I start marking, let's again go back a month. Let's go back 3 months. Okay, it started. This coin actually launched not very long ago. So, okay, so let's go back to a month. Let's change that back to a 1 hour. Zoom out, and let's start marking some clear bases here. So a very clear base is right here. I'm going to mark that one first. Clear base at around 69. Let's see about, yeah, around 69. Set that alert. And it's already at 102, so it may take a while to get back down to that 69 level. But again, look, there's another huge base at 72, and you probably only need the 72 level. I'm in a habit of kind of marking bases in the past. Okay. And then there's another one here. So it ran all the way up to 97, and then it came all the way crashing down to 81 and bounced right back up immediately. So I know there's some good support even at 81 here. All right, so let's go to 81, confirm that. And let's just look at this real quick. Okay, 91 to 101. I mean, there's even support at 91, right? But I don't know if I'd buy there. I am going to mark an alert there, but I don't know if I'd buy there. It kind of depends on what happens in the next few days. So anyway, I think you get the point of what I'm trying to do. I'm not going to keep going through all of these coins. I'll do this again in the future, but I wanted to really just give you a few charts to look at with me in real time as I go through them, so you can kind of see how I'm looking at bases, how I mark bases, how I'm finding these great opportunities to buy, and how I'm actually buying like right at the lowest levels, right? I think you've seen a few times when I buy literally at the bottom level. And that's because I'm marking my bases, I'm seeing where there's support, and when those bases crack in price, I'll usually put in an order 5, 10, 15, 20% below that base price, right? I like to put something way down, right? 20, 25, 30%, a buy down that low, because you never know when it will drop that low. But then I also like to kind of taper my trades in so that I don't completely miss out on the opportunity, right? So I kind of taper the trades down, to the lowest point that I want to go. And I do the same thing on the top, right? I'll put in a buy order, in this case, let's say this coin went down to 82, right? And then let's say it cracked this base and it went down and down. I'd probably buy, starting at like 78, 77, all the way down, to like the 70s, right? Probably even down to like the 69s. Because that's where the support really is. So anyway, that's kind of how I'm doing this. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have questions around base trading, around drawing bases. But hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Again, I'm Dan. I'm going to take you on my journey with me through the cryptocurrency world, as I start day trading, as I start position trading, as I start making money in Bitcoin. I've already, my portfolio right now is already at 50% from the time I started trading, and I think that's fantastic. I'm doing account building trades here and there. I'm doing position trades. I've only been doing this for a few weeks, probably, gosh, 6 weeks, maybe something like that. So I'm pretty happy with the results so far. Anyway, let me know what you think, and hopefully this was helpful. I'll talk to you next time. Later, guys.